again, if you're new to me, my name is Maeve. I'm so happy you're here. I want to make that very clear. I am so happy you're here. And you come into your practice as you are. However you are, that's how you come into your practice. If you have a block or a bolster or something you can sit on, that will make it a little more comfortable. If not, sit on the ground. Any sitting position will do. We're not going to be here for very long. Rest your hands on your thighs. Allow your eyes to soften. This first moment is for you to commit to being here now. To tap into your breath. To tap into your general state of being, how you feel. And that can help to guide you in your practice, but it doesn't dictate your practice. Notice the quality of the breath, the length of the inhale to the exhale. And just gradually start to match the inhale to exhale in length, volume. And so when I say volume versus length, make sure that you're breathing out as much of the breath as you can, so that you're not leaving stagnant air breath inside of you. You're really purging. So the volumes match. However much you've taken in is the same amount you're going to take and press out. And I know there's no gauge on your body to tell you what that is. It's a sense, it's a feeling. Last couple of breaths here. And then gently make your way to your hands and knees. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. You're going to start with your fingers pointing forward, and then I'm going to give you some options here. You're just going to rock forward and back. Get a little stretch in the wrists. And then maybe turn the fingers open a little bit so that they kind of fan out toward the edges of the mat, and then just start to rock your weight a little side to side. Try to root as much of your hand down as you can. I don't think I put my video on Spotlight, so you can pin me if you want. Sorry about that. Just click on my square if you're new to Zoom, and then you can pin it, spotlight it. Really nice. If this feels good, you can keep this hand position. You can take the fingers straight ahead, or maybe turn the fingers to point back toward your knees, and then take a little pause there. So this is a little deeper forearm stretch here. And then if it's okay, we're going to move into cat's breath. So keeping the hands here or shifting them if needed. Lifting the heart, the head to tail with your inhale. The exhale rounds the back. Inhaling and exhaling. And not only are we moving our spine, we are moving in the shoulder girdle. There's a little bit of this retraction of the shoulder girdle and then a protraction, meaning that moving the arms forward out of the shoulder socket and then drawing the shoulder blades a little bit in toward each other on the back as you retract. That shoulder mobility is very useful in all things movement-based upper body. Good, bring the hands back around, please. Bring the forearms down. Tuck your toes, come into a forearm plank here, please. Knees are a great alternative to toes. Pick up your right leg. And you're going to shift forward and back. I always travel with my foot when I'm doing this, so make sure that you keep a nice, stable foundation. Don't suffer. Perfect. Come back to center. Pause. Reset. Left leg lifts up. Body soft. Forward and back. Both feet come down. Slowly lower the hips down. Release the feet, tops of the feet, push down, Sphinx. Pull the heart forward. See how much you can push the hands down, the forearms down, and then how broad can you make the collarbones, drawing the shoulders open and back. One more inhale, push into the hands, lift the elbows, take them out to the side, bring your forehead onto your hands stacked. So stack hand on hand, forehead to top hand. Scoop the belly away from the ground. Float the feet up off the ground. Head and arms are still down. Get longer in the legs. Lift a little higher, get longer. Lift a little higher, get longer. Feet come down, push the feet down, hands next to the ribs. Curl into cobra. Few breaths here. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yes. And then downward facing dog with your exhale. First downward facing dog of the day. We come through this pose quite a few times in Vinyasa class. It is not a resting pose. You can use other poses here. Child's pose if you need a break. Dolphin if your wrists start to bother you. Forward fold alternatively. It is not a resting pose. It's active awake. It is alive. Start to find some still here. Pushing into the palms. Base of the index finger, base of thumb, all of the knuckles. Every exhale, gently draw the front ribs into the back ribs, and then feel the shoulder blades glide into your heart. Inhale, right leg back, and then shift into plank. Cross your right leg behind your left leg. Squeeze your legs together as one. Squeeze your legs as one. Gaze comes a little forward. Stay here or come halfway down, chaturanga. Come back up. Right knee into your chest, place your foot forward. Rise to crescent pose. Make sure your feet are wide enough, widthwise, that you have a good, strong foundation. Beautiful. Good, bring your arms out in front. Bring the palms together. Lace your fingers, push the palms away, and then sweep the arms up. Gently pressing the triceps in, the biceps out. Stretch the hands up even higher. Sink a little deeper if it's there for you. Draw your feet toward each other. One more inhale, back heel roots, open warrior two. So classical alignment on this pose is heel of the front foot to the arch of the back foot. On my body, that doesn't feel great. I like more of a heel to heel, which is why I oftentimes don't cue what the classical alignment is. Rather than you looking down at your feet to see what is happening there, feel it. Feel where your center is. Do you feel centered? Do you feel balanced? Is there some ease in the pose? Can you externally rotate this right hip and find length from the inner right groin to the inner right knee? Can you firm this inner left thigh to the back of the mat? Can you get the pinky side of that back foot down? And then in that, can you center the spine? Can you level the pelvis? And then maybe we go a little deeper. And reverse your warrior. Come on back, please. One more, inhale. Sweep the right arm forward. Sweep the left arm forward. Don't bring your hands to the floor. Pivot onto the back toes. Bend the front knee a lot. Sweep the arms to the back of your mat. Hug the arms in toward the torso. Can you get this right hip a little deeper? Can you look at this right knee and get it stacked right on top of that right heel? Powerful back leg. So good. Opening up the chest. And then hands down to the ground. Step back to plank. Chaturanga, exhale. Open and rise, inhale. Downward facing dog with your exhale. Left leg straight back, inhale. Shift forward into plank, wrap the left leg behind the right leg. Stay in plank, squeeze the legs as one, really strong here. Look a little forward. Stay here or come down halfway for chaturanga. Come back up, left knee into your chest, place your foot forward. Crescent pose, rising up. Find your center. Do you feel balanced? Do your feet feel like they're too much on a tightrope? If so, widen them out. Bring the arms forward. Lace the hands again, push the heels of the hands away, and then sweep the arms up. One more inhale. Back heel roots, warrior two, opening up. Adjust your feet, feel it. Maybe even close your eyes. If you fall off your center, can you adjust? Reverse your warrior, take it back. So nice. One more inhale. Come around, pivot onto the back toes, sweep the arms around, reach for the back of your mat with your hands. You can adjust the feet if you need to. Try to draw your left rib cage, or both your ribs up, but your left rib cage off of your left thigh. One more inhale, hands to the ground, exhale. Step to plank, inhale, chaturanga or the floor. Up dog or cobra, yes. Downward facing dog with your exhale. Smooth out your breath. Inhale, lift your heels. Stay with me, please. Just stay here. Start to walk your feet by lifting, heel, planting foot. Lifting, heel, planting foot. Bring both feet to the top of your mat. Come halfway up, inhale. Fold, exhale. Do that again. Inhale, halfway up. Balance the weight in your feet. Keep it balanced. Fold down, exhale. One more time, inhale. Fill up your back ribs. Exhale, empty, empty, empty. Rise, inhale. Hands draw to your heart with your exhale. Sweep your arms up to the sky, don't go anywhere. Close your eyes if it's okay. Root your feet. Find your center. Stack your joints. Triceps gently in, biceps gently out. So my elbows are hyperextended. I like to imagine I have a block between my hands. Even better would be if I actually held the block so that I have this sense of the elbow not collapsing in. If you share that sort of elbow nonsense that I have, get that sense, nice and strong here. Bring your hands into your heart, pause. Don't go anywhere, full breath in, full breath out. Stay, inhale. Stay here and exhale. Start to feel a rhythm in your breath. And it might not match mine, and that's quite all right. Inhale, stay, and exhale. Inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. Exhale, hinge at your hips to forward fold. You can bend your knees to hold your center. Inhale, come halfway up, please. Chaturanga, exhale. Inhale, rise to up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right away, lift your heels, inhale. Bend your knees, look forward, walk, step, or jump your feet to your hands. Halfway up, inhale. Fold down, exhale. Rise to stand, inhale. Send the heart forward to lift it up. Draw your hands into your heart, exhale. We go again. Inhale, rise. Exhale, go forward to fold forward. Halfway, inhale. Chaturanga, exhale. Inhale and rise. Downward facing dog with your exhale. Inhale, lift your heels. Exhale, bend your knees, float feet to hands on no breath, and then inhale, halfway. Fold. Rise, inhale. Hands into heart, exhale. Inhale, rise. Exhale and bow. Halfway inhale. Chaturanga, exhale. Rise, upward facing dog. Downward facing dog, exhale. Right leg stretches back, inhale. Shift into plank, cross behind, halfway down, chaturanga. Back up to plank, right foot comes forward. Lace the hands, push the hands forward, rise right up into crescent pose, and then open to warrior two. Reverse your warrior, and then pivot around, standing splits, top of the mat. So bring the hands all the way around. This time they get to come down to the ground, and then lift that left leg up behind you. You're here for a few breaths. Allow this to be a single leg forward fold. I don't care how high that left leg gets. Stretch it back, push down into the right foot. And start to bend the right knee, stretch the arms forward. Land lightly with this left foot, but don't lift up, just stay here. Try to lift the right rib cage off of the right thigh, and then hands come down to the ground. Step back to plank, lower down. Open and rise. Every single chaturanga is optional. Modify it, skip it. Make your way back to downward facing dog. Left leg back with an inhale. Shift to plank, cross behind. Either stay in plank or come halfway down for chaturanga. Come back up, left knee to chest, place your foot forward. Stay on the back toes, lace the hands, sweep the arms up to rise into crescent. And then root the back heel. Open for warrior two. Yes. Reverse inhale. We come around for standing splits. You can kind of spot this right foot to the back of the mat. Plant that right foot down, reach the arms forward. You've got a few breaths here. Torso stays forward. Use your center. Use your abdominals, your transverse. Lift up off that thigh. Both hands down, Vinyasa or downward facing dog. Right leg back, inhale. Exhale, shift forward, cross, lower down if you want that chaturanga. Come back up, place your right foot forward. We do the same thing. Lace the fingers, inhale, crescent. And then open for warrior two. Reverse warrior. And then come around for standing splits. You're gonna stay in standing splits or you're gonna plant your hand, bend your right knee. You're just gonna start to take this little idea of shifting. Of course, if you're very comfortable in handstands, you can go all the way up. But otherwise, you're just playing with it. And if you keep the lifted leg low, or the bottom leg low, sorry, not the lifted leg, the bottom leg, you won't flip over. Good. Right foot back down, crescent pose. I'm sorry, not crescent. You're gonna stay tipped forward. I was too excited there. And then the hands come down, chaturanga. Rise up dog. And down dog. Left leg back, inhale. Shift forward, cross, wrap. Chaturanga optional. Come back up, left knee in. Lace the hands, rise, crescent. Warrior two. Reverse. And then bring it around, standing splits. Same thing, stay here, you don't have to change this, or you've got some breaths here to shift and tip. So take the heart, shine it on the space between your thumbs. Palm the ground, lift the left heel, that's your starting point. And then left foot down, right foot back, reach forward, take an inhale, and then hands down, chaturanga. Open up, inhale. Down dog, exhale. Pause here, breathe. Inhale high into your toes. Exhale, bend your knees, look between your hands, hop your feet forward, step, walk, whatever you need. Come halfway, inhale. Fold, exhale. Lowest chair you've got, lowest chair you've got. And then on your backs, however you need to get there. Doesn't have to be through chair. All the way down, right leg lifts, left leg extends out. Push your left foot down into the ground, shorten belly button to pubic bone. Right leg is gonna cross in front of your left leg. Squeeze your legs together, wrap them together. Bring your hands behind your head. Open up the chest, inhale, exhale, lift. So your legs are down, but they're actively squeezing into each other. The exhale naturally helps to bring you up. Match your breath.
Good, you're gonna hold it up, hold it up, hold it up. If it's okay, arms reach overhead. Hold and breathe. Push the feet down. Hold 4, 3, 2, release it down. Arms overhead at your side, under your hips. You'll know what you need in a moment. So my arms are gonna go overhead. I'm gonna have my thumbs pushing down. Right leg is coming up. Hover the left leg off the ground. Hold your spine in neutral. So if you need some help, hands under your hips gives you some help. If you prefer arms at your side because it feels better on your shoulders, whatever you need here, you're breathing and you're holding. Slowly switch the leg that's up, the leg that's down. Inhale and switch. Inhale and switch. Keep going like that. Nice and slow. Maybe the cross of the legs starts to happen lower. Yes. So there's this moment when one leg is lifted and one is hovering off the ground. That's very much like the kick up in a handstand. There's that sense of center where you're starting to catch on. Good, your right leg is going to come all the way down to the ground, please. Hands come behind your head. Left leg crosses on top of your right. Squeeze your legs together. Yes, I see you. You're amazing. Shoulders come up. Inhale, exhale. So the breath is a little faster here than like when we're typically just flowing. Lengthen out your tailbone. Start to feel the glutes, your hips working a bit here. So the more you kind of squeeze the legs together, you'll start to activate in the hips as well. That's part of your core. Really important part of your core. Last 4, last 3, 2. Release the shoulders down, arms can be overhead at your side, hands can come onto your hips, left leg is going to come up. Just pause here. Right leg extends and lifts off the floor. So notice how your back wants to arch here. Contain the front ribs. Keep the tailbone lengthening toward your right heel. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Beautiful. Now we have an option of curling the shoulders up, and then we're back into switching the legs again. You can do this with your shoulders down. One is not harder than the other, they're just different. So with shoulders up, you're getting this kind of low boat hollow hold, which also means that your shoulders are up, your neck is up. If you're feeling strain in your neck, put your head down. Holding neutral is just as hard as doing this with a little bit of a low boat. Yeah, so you find what works for you. And then if you're feeling really strong here, maybe the legs stay lower. And then hug your knees into your chest. Really good work. Really good work. your right knee in. Rock up to seated. Take this right foot, inner left thigh. Janu Shirshasana, come forward. There's a little bit of a twist here. You're bringing this right side of the body around toward that left foot. And then you're balancing yourself, drawing the whole spine forward. Come back up with an inhale. Pick up both your legs, boat pose. Legs can be straight. Arms can be holding the legs. Arms can be at your side, or if you want a little more juice, arms up overhead. Low boat, come on down. Knees into your chest, give yourself a squeeze. Keep the left leg in, rock up. Right leg out straight, left foot comes to your inner right thigh, and then Janu Shirshasana on the right leg. And now rise back up, boat pose again. Beautiful, beautiful. This is your last one, I think. Cross at your shins. Downward facing dog with or without a vinyasa to get you there. You choose how you get there. Left leg stretches back. Left leg stretches back. Come high into your right toes. Bend your right knee. Look at the space between your hands. You're going to jump your right foot forward. It might take a couple hops to get there if you're not sure. If you lift your left leg up, you're going to get a little hang time. Right foot comes forward. Left leg stretches back. And then warrior three. You can stay with your hands on the floor in warrior three, or you can bring your hands into your heart, overhead, alongside your body. Whatever works for you today. Inhale, left knee draws into your chest, round your back, and then rise up to stand. Good, neutralize the spine. Turn this left knee out to the left, and then take the left foot, bring it to your inner right thigh, inner left leg on the calf, on the ankle, whatever works for you, Vrikshasana. Draw up, draw up, draw up. Right hip pins in. Arms up overhead if it's okay. And then imagine you have a block between your hands. Triceps gently inward, biceps gently outward. Notice all the very small micro stabilizations that are happening to keep you here. If you fall out, it does not matter. You come back as you're ready. We have a transition from here into half moon, which means that this right leg has to go from a neutral hip alignment to external. So if on your body you need a little bend in your knee to make that happen, you do that. Option, option, option. Bring your left hand to your left foot. And then opening into Chapasana. Right hand comes down, floor or block.
you have the foot, stretch the left leg to the back of the mat, step your left foot to the back of the mat, rise up, square off your feet, turning to the left, hands on your hips, rise with your heart inhale, and then exhale, folding forward, Prasarita, Padottanasana, hands come down to the ground. Inhale, heart forward, lengthen the spine, keep all that length, and then bring the head toward the floor. So if you're pretty mobile forward folding and you feel like you're running out of space, bring your feet a little closer to each other. If this is a hard position for you, believe it or not, if you start to take your feet a little wider, it starts to feel a little easier. And then we're here for a few breaths, so you can play however you want. If you want to take a headstand, you can straddle up. If you want to come into crow pose, you can bring your knees onto your triceps. If you want to just stay where you are, fabulous. If you're working on headstand or crow, it's the same foundation. Thumbs pull toward each other, elbows hug in toward each other so that the line of the arm stays parallel. The arms are parallel to each other. And then headstanders or crow pose, bring those legs back, out wide. Come halfway with your inhale, and then walk your hands around to the top of your mat. Come onto your left hand, left foot, Vashisthasana. Step this right foot back, and then open up. Toes toward your heart. Push the heels away from the head. And then chaturanga, exhale. Skip it if you don't need it. I truly mean that. If you don't need it, skip it. From downward facing dog, right leg stretches back. Come really high into the left toes. Bend the left knee. Now look forward where you want to go. You want to get your left foot to the top of the mat, and you want to keep your right leg lifted up. And then we come into warrior three on the left leg. Any variation on the pose. Front ribs gently up toward the back ribs. Keep the low back long. Take one more big inhale. Now exhale like you're doing a crunch. Round the back. Pull this right knee up and then neutralize the spine. Take the right knee out to the side. You're going to bring your right foot to your inner left leg. Anywhere on that leg. And then rise through the arms, rise to the heart. You're here for a few breaths. Steady your gaze, steady your breath. Yes. So good, so good. Love it. So with the exception of this right leg being turned out to the side, tree pose is essentially handstand upside down. The way we were using this left foot to find our stability here, we use our hands, we use our fingertips, the way we're using our toes. The mound of the big toe is like equal to the mound of the index finger and mound of thumb. You have a few more breaths here. You're going to plot out your transition into half moon with or without Chapasana version. So with or without that right foot. So option to take the right foot. Left hip goes from neutral to external, so it's got to turn open. I'm going to stretch this right foot to the back of your mat, or back behind you, maybe not quite to the back of your mat. You rise up, really nice. This time, hands laced behind the hips. Inhale, heart to sky. Exhale, contain the front body, and then wide leg, forward fold. So I'm going to go back to the elbows again. If you have laced your hands, like I've just asked you to, which you can always bypass, you don't have to do it. If your elbows are hyperextended like mine, you want to kind of keep a sense of bending the elbows very, very slightly and then stretching the knuckles away from the shoulders. Otherwise, you end up just dumping into that eye of the elbow, and it eventually is just going to overstretch the elbows and not get into the shoulders at all. And let's rise up halfway, inhale. Come around to the front of your mat with your hands. Come all the way to the pinky side of your right foot. Step your left foot back. And then opening Vashisthasana on the right hand, right foot. Toes toward the heart. Heels away from the head. Right shoulder plugs into the back. And then Chaturanga with your exhale. Open and rise, inhale. Downward facing dog with your exhale. Pause. Stay here, breathe. Come into child's pose if you need a rest, or bring your hands and feet a little closer together. You can also just kneel down and watch if you don't like child's pose. You can sit with your knees down. I know it's not everyone's favorite. Lift your heels, bend your knees. You want to find this little tuck position in your hands. So you're going to spring up and then knees into chest. You land lightly. You do about 5 of them. And then everyone back into downward facing dog. Walk your hands back to your feet. First 2 fingers and thumb wrap around your big toes. Inhale. Heart comes forward. Exhale, fold down. Elbows go wide. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, release your hands. Just take the hands about 1.5 feet, maybe a foot in front of your feet. Lift up your right leg. Come high on your left toes. You don't have to go anywhere. This is perfect. Stack your shoulders over your wrists. Look at the space between your hands. Stay there or bend the left leg. And then take a little hop up. I'm going to do about 5 of them, or you can just hold it. Both feet down. Pause, come way up onto your fingertips. Drop your ears between your biceps. Bend your knees. And then bring the hands back to flat. Pick up your left leg. Lift your right heel. Same thing, stay right here, or you're just getting this sense of shifting the heart forward a little bit and taking some hops. The bottom leg is helping to like push you up. The top leg stays pretty strong. Try not to just kick up with your top leg. That's going to throw you into a back bend. Yes, both feet down. And then walk your hands to your feet. Whole hand, palm up, under the foot. Stretch for the wrists. Padahastasana. Melt down with your exhale. So one of the trickiest pieces in finding balance in handstand is finding our center. Because it doesn't mean you have to get both your legs up over, they don't have to be glued together. Though there is this sense when you start to come up that there's this, it's almost like the wrap that we were doing in the legs, both when we were in chaturanga and then when we were on our backs for core work. There's that strength in the legs. With that said, there's a lot of softness too. A couple more breaths here. But one of the biggest things that takes us out of finding our center is the top leg being insistent on being what's going to pull us up. And it's really not. Good. Inhale halfway. Release your hands. Rise all the way up to standing. Good. So I'm going to give you this opportunity to move to a wall if you want, and then I want you to watch for a second. So every time you go out of neutral, you want to keep a little sense of that low boat, that hollow hold. Every time you go past that, you have to then refine your center. So if I'm using just my top leg to lift me up, I'm going here. And I'm actually pulling myself right back out of the handstand because I haven't given myself the opportunity to get my hips over my shoulders. So instead of lifting with this leg, push with the bottom leg to come up. To come up. And then you start to play with that. Don't worry about getting the second leg up. If you feel good in handstand, get the second leg up. Maybe wrap them together. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to play with this because sometimes it's nice to just have some quiet and be, and I won't talk at you. If you have questions, let me know. Let me know. Good. Don't get consumed by the end product. Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful. And don't be self-conscious. I can barely see you. To love it when people give you orders. Don't. Try not to be. Use both legs as a lead leg. For me, when I stopped using my dominant leg up, I was able to find better balance. So for me, I was really happy with my right leg up as my lead, left leg up, practice, 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 and it was much easier for me to focus on finding that sense of tree pose in my hands. You've got about 30 more seconds if you want it. You can also do those little cannonballs to lift. You can pike up. All right. And then come onto your backs. Really, really nice work. So sometimes we come into class, like when people had requests for core and for handstands and versions, and you're left with more questions than you started with. Don't be afraid to put them in the chat. I'm really happy to address them in a future class or now. Right now, though, we're going to do back bends. Elbows push down, triceps press down, rise up, bridge pose. Maybe lace the hands. Maybe bring the shoulders further under the body. Stretch the knees forward. Outer shins gently in. I don't know if that makes sense when I say it, but the lower leg is gently hugging inward. If you have a block, you can put it between your calves. Really nice. Take another breath in. And then come on down with your exhale. Fantastic. Take a pause. Find your breath. Repeating bridge or moving into Urdhva Dhanurasana. Same thing. So outer legs gently in so the knees aren't collapsing open. Rise up, inhale. Last inhale. And exhale, come on out. Receive the pose, how does it feel? Making any adjustments necessary, we'll take one more, or you'll just skip it. You'll just enjoy this time off. Inhale, rise up. Your next exhale brings you down. And if happy baby's okay, come to happy baby. If not, maybe just knees to chest or knees side to side. Our knees can knock into each other with the feet on the floor. Good. Release the left leg down. Bring the right foot across your body. You can hook your left elbow around. You can wrap, so putting foot into the elbow and then the hand comes around. Options here. Extend the left leg, put it on the floor if you want, float it up. If you want a little bit more core work, you can integrate a little core here. Still finding some softness. Maybe the shoulders stay up, maybe they come down. You pick what feels right to you here without finding strain, instead finding some ease, even if you've chosen to find some work. Thread the needle is a wonderful alternative. Two more breaths. So if you're with me here in this little bit of a low boat, we're going to come through low boat. If you're not, we're just going to switch sides, and then we're going to switch sides through here. If at any point your head, your neck start to fatigue, don't suffer. There's no reason to suffer in any poses, please. Please. Last few breaths. And then both knees come in. Soles of the feet come together. Release the feet down. Just a couple breaths here. Supta Baddha Konasana. And then both knees right, left arm out to the left. Simple twist. You can change this twist to whatever feels good on your body. Switch the twist to the second side. And these last few breaths, maybe map out how you want to finish your practice. If you want to come into Shavasana, if you prefer to take your legs up the wall for a little more partial inversion, or if you would like to come up to sitting, you can finish there. And then you'll find that place now, whatever it is for you. So if you're lying in Shavasana, it doesn't have to be flat on your back, but maybe it is. Ideally, taking the hands and either turning the senses to yourself, up to your breath, or opening the palms to the sky so that You're not getting feedback unless it's like feedback on your own. Not the, how does the floor feel, not the mat. How do you feel, or how does the air feel? And then if it's okay, you'll close your eyes. If it's not, you'll soften your gaze. And as you soften your gaze, you soften your breath, and just see where this takes you. Allow your breath to deepen. Slowly wake up your body. As you're ready, introduce movement, and then find your way to sitting. And once you're seated, bring your hands together in prayer. It is such a gift to share this virtual space with you, this practice with you. I feel your energy. I feel this community, even though we're not in person. And so every time you show up, it's a blessing. As I started class, I'm so happy that